Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Break Games and welcome to a brand new series here on the channel called Every Extra in LEGO Games. So in this series we're going to be going through all the different LEGO games in order and showing off all the extras or the cheats within each LEGO game. So I think it should be a fun series because the extras have actually changed quite a bit throughout the LEGO games. They've added some, removed some over the years. So I think it'll be a fun series to kind of see what each LEGO game has and kind of showing off all the extras within each game. So we're starting off with LEGO Star Wars, the video game from 2005. This is running on an original Xbox. And this game's kind of hard to come by now because it doesn't really run on modern PCs, and so you basically have to have the old console, and a lot of people don't have that anymore. But anyway, so to get extras in this game, you just go to the shop, and you'll go to the extras section, and then you just straight up buy them from here. Pretty simple. I think there's 10 in total, and you don't really need anything else except the studs to buy them. So pretty simple. So let's go ahead and pause the game, go into extras, and we're going to go down the list and kind of show each of these off. So first off, we have Invincibility. This is pretty self-explanatory, but you won't notice any difference right away. But if you're in combat, you'll notice that when you take damage, you won't be losing any hearts. So basically, you don't have to worry about losing studs unless you fall off the map or something like that. So this is really helpful, especially on those levels like Defensive Kashyyyk, and those levels with like an unlimited amount of enemies spawning at you and you're taking a lot of damage, dying a lot. This will protect you from losing studs and help you get true Jedi and all that. So a very helpful extra there. So let's move on to silhouettes. So this is an interesting one. So as soon as you activate this, all the characters turn black into just like regular silhouettes or shadows. And it's kind of cool. I'm not sure why you'd want to do this. I guess if you just think it's a cool looking feature. I haven't seen too many people use this, but it is kind of neat. And it's definitely interesting because I don't think it's really used in a lot of the newer LEGO games. So it's kind of a unique feature of these older ones. Let's move on to purple. So once again, at first glance, you won't notice anything, but you'll notice right away if you pull out your lightsaber, you have a purple lightsaber like Mace Windu now, and also the Force logo actually, or the Force, coloring turns purple as well, which matches the lightsaber. So usually just Mace Windu has the purple lightsaber. This makes it so all lightsaber wielding characters, even Sith, use purple lightsabers, which is kind of funny because normally you just have the one character of Mace Windu having that. So that's kind of a cool feature there. Let's move on to mustaches. So this one's pretty self-explanatory once again. It makes most of the minifigures have mustaches. Obviously there's a few exceptions, like you have Boba Fett, who does not have a mustache, I guess because he's a young character. You also have Dexter, and you have his little robot helper, wherever she went right there. She doesn't have a mustache either, but most of the characters have mustaches with this extra. And it's just kind of a goofy thing if you want to turn it on, make your minifigures look a little bit more silly. Next up, we have Minikit Detector. This is probably the most useful extra in the whole game, I would say, besides maybe Invincibility. So if you're trying to get all the minikits, this will actually show up arrows within the levels, and you'll be able to see exactly where each minikit is. It's not always accurate. Sometimes it can be confusing even. That's why you have minikit guides like I do on my channel. But it is very useful, and it's probably the most useful extra in the game, to be honest. Let's go ahead and move on to teacups. So this makes it so, instead of a lightsaber, you have a teacup. And so it's the same animations and everything when you're actually, swinging your lightsaber, but you're actually swinging a teacup, which is actually pretty funny. And let's see if they do blasters. Yeah, blasters turn into teacups too. So basically all weapons turn into teacups. That's kind of funny. So that's that extra. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, brushes. So this is kind of similar to teacups, except instead of teacups, you have brushes here instead of a lightsaber. So that's kind of cool. Let's see, are blasters turn to brushes too? No, they do not. So it's only lightsabers that change into brushes. Very interesting there. And it doesn't seem to change the staff of General Grievous's bodyguard either. So it's just lightsabers that turn to brushes. Not sure why you want to do that once again, but again, most of the extras in this game are sort of more silly, and I think in later games that'll change. Here we have big blasters. So if you switch to a character with a blaster here, you can see his blaster is sticking huge. It's actually longer too. It's not, they didn't just enlarge it, they actually lengthened it as well. So that's kind of an interesting looking extra there. Let's switch back over to Qui-Gon Jinn. He's the OG. He's the character that you spawn as. We want to keep playing as him. So that's big blasters. Let's move on to classic blasters. So we actually, the last few extras here actually have to do with blasters. Let's maybe switch back to Captain Antilles here. So here we go. This is the classic LEGO blasters here. And you can see there, I think it fires the same and everything like that. But it just looks really old school, like the old school LEGO sets. So there we go. Let's move on to silly blasters. So this, you can see, makes your blaster kind of have a red tip at the end, and it looks really big, and almost looks similar to like what the Geonosians use. Like they have the green blasters. Doesn't look quite like that, but it's kind of similar. But other than that, that is all 10 extras within Lego Star Wars, the video game from 2005. Man, this game is a classic. These extras are actually kind of hard to get because they cost a lot of studs. And you'll notice here, none of these are stud multipliers. There were no stud multipliers in this game. So to buy these, you actually have to get studs the old-fashioned way and actually collect them all, which is kind of difficult to do. I'll actually have a video about that on the channel soon if it's not out already. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, that's all 10 extras, so all you have to do is buy them from the shop and you'll be able to get them. It can take a while to get the studs, but other than that, that's pretty cool. So as you'll notice, most of them in this game are kind of just silly things. Like the only real useful one here is probably Minikit Detector and Invincibility. The rest of this are really just kind of cheat codes that you'd find in a lot of older video games at the time. And they don't really do much for you gameplay-wise, but they are kind of silly and you can kind of have fun with them. But yeah, Invincibility and Minikit Detector, those are the ones you want. I think they're the most expensive in the game as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for Lego Star Wars, the video game, every extra. So stay tuned for future videos in this series. So again, we're going to be slowly going through all the Lego games, showing off all the extras. So it should be a pretty fun series. And it'll be kind of a good series to go along with the every character series we do on the channel. So let me know what your thoughts are. Would you like to see more videos in this series in the comments below? What's your favorite extra in this game? And yeah, just let me know your general thoughts about this series and kind of what your hopes are for the future of it. Hopefully you'll enjoy them. And I will see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.